Greetings, my friends. Um, I would like to share some information with you, and it's just to share. I don't profess to be an expert on anything, I'm just basically speaking from experience. And I think that as you get to my kind of age frame, I said, we should share our experiences to those who are younger than us and also contemporaries because we have learned certain things. Sometimes we don't give enough credit to our life experiences. And so I'm just sharing a few things. So, if you want to listen, I would appreciate. And hopefully you will learn something from this because I will definitely learn from you because in exchanging um, thoughts, I should say, we are exchanging information. Okay, I want you to understand that. Anyway, so now program. The word is program. So when we hear the word program, we feel, that it is something to do with computer. We're going to program a computer. We're going to command it to do something, right? We are trying to accomplish a particular goal or what have you. And so you are going to program a computer to perform a certain operation. So, we know that the word program means to command, right? To command. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So now I remember, like as a child and watching, the TV came into the scene, so you have an idea how old. Anyway, so TV came into the scene, black and white, by the way, black and white. You have no idea, but it didn't really make a difference because you're looking at images in a box. You're looking at images in a box when before there was no box with images, according to your mindset, right? So images in a box moving out of thin air, like where is, like, the difference when you go to a movie then, you saw where, okay, it's images on the screen, but you've seen it coming from, within the darkness of the theater, you see this light, and you knew that that was the image being projected onto the screen. So you kind of had an idea where the image was coming from. But a television or a TV was like out of thin air. How is it that you have an image on a screen? Where's the projector? But anyway, so here I am, you know, fortunate enough at my age and then in my homeland, um, watching TV. And so these were what we call programs, right? Television programs, television commands, right? Remember, program, command to perform an operation, right? Command to perform an operation. This is, you know, basic meaning of program. Anyway, so here I am watching images back then. Uh, and then, of course, I kind of begin to see now TV where it is not yet color, but, we used to, believe it or not, it's funny, but we used to put a little um, plastic. Old timers will tell you that in the box, with different colors, cellophane. I can't remember, but this was very interesting. It made the TV color, the bars of color, which actually are the colors, except they weren't combining with the figures actually, but they were the colors. It's the rainbow, right? 7 colors. Anyway, so um, I saw these images and wow, wow. So this, that. So here I am now watching things like, Leave It to Beaver. Old timers will remember this. Tremendous show, Two Brothers. And then I will watch, what you call it, Beverly Hillbillies, right? Beverly Hillbillies, and My Three Sons and Bonanza. But the thing was in these programs you see, because these programs are to program you. You understand? Just like the computer. We're being programmed, my dear friends. We know that. I mean, it's nothing new. I'm not telling you nothing new. I hope. Anyway, so these are these programs. So now as a kid, I'm watching this. And one of the things I found interesting, but I didn't really pay attention. I was into it, a little, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons, like I was there. But one thing, and some of you may understand this, some of you may not. And I'm getting a little bit emotional about it. But here's the thing, I never saw someone who looked like me. Wow. See that? Didn't pay attention because I wasn't there. I wasn't in the moment. I was involved. My mind was involved because the mind is an electromagnetic field of energy. You understand? The mind is an electromagnetic field of energy. This is where reality takes place. You understand that? I don't want to sound too deep, I know it sounds kind of weird, right? To some people it sounds weird. But, I hope, but I don't want to wow, man, in the mind. No, but, it is real. I'm here to tell you that. So now the mind is an electromagnetic field where all reality takes place. Because it ain't taking place anywhere else but in your mind. If you feel otherwise, let me know, please. But I could tell you from my experience, it's all, it's taking place in the mind. So anyway, so you've been programmed to see these images. Now, this is a program. What is it? What is the message? What is the command of operation in this program? So it must be that, since I don't see anybody that looks like me, why is that? So now I have to look like that to be able to accomplish what I see on the screen. Right? I mean, that's the logic. But anyway, let's move a little forward now. You are not in you know, the the image similarity. So therefore, you are out of the reality of the program. So now what does that do to someone's mind? Right? Because you're being programmed. A program has to have all the attributes in order that at the end, all information inputted gives fruit to the inception of information or commands. So at the end, there is a flowering of results. Like Facebook and Instagram. These are all flowers of a program. Gave fruit. You're able to see me. I'm not able to see you now, but I'm sure I'm looking at you somewhere, somehow, right? Because you're looking at me. But anyway, so the program eliminates my image. Now, what is that supposed? What was intended? Let me say it this way. What was intended by the creator of that program, where he excluded someone who looks like me? But I remember, at least, believe it or not, and this is strange, and I never understood something. Maybe someone could kind of help me on this. Because it has to do with Brother Bill Cosby, that I understand bought the rights to the Little Rascals. This is what I heard. So, hopefully I don't want to implicate or denigrate or whatever. But what I'm saying is, believe it or not, when I was a kid, the only image I saw a kid that looks like me was Buckwheat and the Little Rascals. And this kid was cool to me anyway, in my, I guess, limited frame of mind. This kid was hanging out with the other boys, no adults around. I mean, other than they messing with adults, but their world was their world, and I had, really, I could relate to that. I related to that because these were, when you were a kid, you're in your own dimension. You're in your own world. You ain't really have, your adults is like, yeah, but you're in your own world. You hear what I'm saying? So these kids were in their own world, and the things that you saw were beautiful. But anyway, the kid was Buckwheat, and he looked like me. You know what I mean? So anyway, moving forward, so the programming was done, right? Most of the other ones, Bonanza, the Lone Ranger, Zorro, Tonto, Cisco Kid. I mean, Jesus, heavy duty stuff to me in those days. But I didn't, another thing, the show, which was very interesting and I liked, and it was funny, it entertained my mother quite a bit, was The Honeymooners. And I can't remember ever seeing a brother or a sister on that show. But if there is one, please let me know. Because, I've seen many of them, and I love that show. But, and then I kind of checked, I said, wow, I never saw somebody look like me. Why is that? But anyway, that is programming for a purpose. And also, I'm a little older in that I could remember radio shows where there was no image actually on the screen, but the image was in your mind fully. You hear what I'm saying? Radio shows were potent. You were listening, the cowboy jumped on his horse and it started galloping, and you'll hear tuk, 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 and your mind, was delivering that image. Incredible. I mean, it was beyond. But you see, this, you're being programmed. You understand? So I understand this here. Remember, it's a program. So now you've been engaged into someone's reality, into someone's mind. They have brought you in. They have captured your electromagnetic mind, because remember, the mind is electromagnetic energy. So when you conjure up this image in your mind, at least in the radio eras, you could make him Technicolor, the dude jumping on the horse. You understand? Because it's your mind, it's your reality, it's your image, it's your theater. So now you got TV, an image, where they telling you who and what the guy or she or whatever looks like. So now you're sedated. Sit back. You hear what I'm saying? And the images are being transmitted into your electromagnetic field, creating that reality within you. But you're absent as far as the physical image of what is being transmitted. So that sort of has an effect on you. You understand? Because you're not there. And if you're not there, then where are you? You understand? So now, the thing is this: that program, that command creates a certain reality in your mind. And so, in that reality in your mind, there are limits to how you could engage into that, that template, into that society structure, because you're absent in it as far as in the screen. And then when you deal with society, you don't see yourself. So where are you? You're in your mind, obviously, but it has a very strong effect because you're not aware that you're being programmed. You understand? It's a program. Got it? It is a program. I don't want to say it again because it sounds kind of too repetitious, but it is a program. So you're being programmed not to see yourself. So when you don't see yourself, you don't value yourself. If you don't value yourself, you don't value anyone that looks like you. Right? It's a logical conclusion. You understand? It's a logical conclusion. If you have no value in the things that you like, Cisco Kid, Lone Ranger, wow, Roy Rogers. I remember a lot of great shows, but, if we were there, like, let's talk a little bit about Tarzan. I love Tarzan. I was Tarzan, but you see, here's where I'm coming from. I love Tarzan, but you know what? I didn't like the fact that, we were like the gooba, 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 and we were like fearful in our own habitat. How is that? But anyway, I was Tarzan. Do you know what I'm saying? You see, I'm looking at that image, but in reality, I am that image because I transpose myself into that character. So I didn't care what he looked like outside. You hear what I'm saying? I'm inside, just like I'm inside this body. So I took over his physical template, and I was Tarzan. You understand what I'm saying? I hope it's not too strange for you, but it's really very simple. It's all in the mind. So now you're looking at these images physically, and it obviously has had an effect in people, what I call melanated people, because I look at where there is no value to who we are in what I call a realistic sense because of that whole program system. So now here's the thing. You are who you are, meaning, there is no program that should dominate your existence because you know what? You're a master of your domain, you're a master of your temple. You're a master of your temple. So these images are just physical. Spiritual and mental, they're here, and that is what you must remember. Okay? Blessings and peace.